can just hear that wind. And my light is too bright. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not in my normal room because of having family over for Easter, and the room I'm using is going to be occupied, so I have to move things into here. Oh, and I also haven't made videos for a little bit. You know, sometimes you just get off track. Fucking caught me slipping. But anyways, I'd like to talk about a video that Asian Eyes gave me the idea for. Once again, I always say this, yes, he gave me an idea, but sometimes YouTubers give each other ideas, and I know I talk about video about stealing ideas, so I'm not going to steal it. But I am going to give credit to. So go check out Asian Eyes' video. He talks about the card Pot of Cupidity, or Cupidity, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm not going to be talking about that specific card. I'm going to be talking about it comparing two cards that are similar actions, which he even mentioned in his video. So check out his video, go look at it, know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so Pot of Cupidity, if you don't know, it's a card, it's basically a pot of greed, and which is even funnier, because I've talked about Pot of Greed in the past, if we should get an errata, or get a new card that does what Pot of Greed does, but with a better cost, or have a cost, because Pot of Greed doesn't have a cost. And this is exactly what that is. So this is basically the Pot of Greed that I've kind of been wanting, or have been wishing to have with its cost. So anyways, Pot of Cupidity is banish the top 10 cards off the top of your deck, face down, you get to draw 2 cards. It's pretty badass card. It's Pot of Greed with a cost, that's technically what it is. And there are ways you could get around that, but we'll talk about that in a second. So anyways, this card is going to be a draw power card, and we have another draw power card coming called Card of Demise, which you don't know what that card is. Your opponent can't take any damage this turn. The turn you activate the card, and you draw until you have 3 cards in your hand, and if you don't, at the end of the phase, you send all cards in your hand to the graveyard. So it's a different way the card works. You have to have no cards in your hand if you want the full power of drawing 3 cards, and you have to use them if you want to have the advantage, if you don't want to send them to the graveyard, and also your opponent doesn't take damage. So this card, I feel like, has more... I don't say it would be bad, but there's pros and cons to each, and we're going to go over them. So right off the bat, Pot of Cupidity. Pro, you get to draw 2 cards. Con, you're banishing 10 from your deck. But there's cards like Necroface, Barrier from a Different Dimension. You can bring these cards back, and I feel like there could be some sweet combos for draw power to abuse Necroface to receive the cards back. I don't have it in my mind, but I'm sure somebody will think of it because there's always someone that does. Now, Card of Demise, though, is pretty dope because, yeah, you can't damage your opponent, but its pro is you get to draw 3 cards. And in this state of the game, not always, but you can usually get your hand to nothing, or you could make your hand to nothing by putting the remaining cards in your spell and trap card zone, or summoning them in the future or whatever. But that is one hindrance. That is one thing that does get it, is sometimes you are drawing and you have a hand where you might draw this card and you need to use it, you need draw power, but you can't get 3 monsters on the field in the hand because that's what you have in your hand right now, 3 monsters, or you have 2 monsters, and yes, you could 1-for-1 it for like an upstart, but then you have to send all cards to the graveyard. Once again, there's ways you can abuse that, but I don't like that stipulation as much. I don't like the fact that I have to banish something to get it. Not banish, I mean, I have to have a certain amount in my hand. Like, you want to have none, and I don't like that, because it's sometimes not possible. Even if you have spell and trap card zones, maybe they're full up, you never know. I don't like that as much, but at the same time, you get to draw 3 cards. And you can sometimes use that effect, send them all to the graveyard to your advantage. But, with that being said, back to Pot of Cupidity. You may be banishing 10, and I already said Necroface might be able a way to bring them back, but you get to draw 2 cards. That is a Pot of Greed. And for me, depending on the deck you're playing, it might not matter as much. Now, playing 3 of these, maybe not recommended. It'd definitely be in a deck that I'd probably play, if you were playing 3, be able to pitch the spell card to some usefulness, just an example, any deck that uses Summoner Monk, if you've already used it a few times and you don't want to banish, your deck doesn't even have room to banish any more monsters, you can pitch it. But, with that is a thing, you could do that, and you could maybe only play it at 1 or whatever, but the 10 banishing is still a big deal. So like I said, you might have to do some combos with Necroface, which in the long run might make your deck thicker, and might not be as well played. If you have to make your deck use Necroface or Burial from the Different Dimension to get those cards back. Like I said, there's probably ways you can manage it, but in the long run, you're actually making your deck slower by adding more cards to Necroface or trying to take out useful cards in your deck for these cards. So, in the end, it really depends on your deck and situation. I don't feel like there's gonna be a one where like people are like, all right, you only have to play this one sucks, or you play this one and this one sucks. No, I feel like it's really gonna depend on the deck and the player choice and player preference. Pot of Cupidity, like I said, it's a good card, but that banishing 10 really messes up. I feel like card Demise, while it is a little bit more situational, I feel like might have more common use. It might be a card that, yeah, I might not be able to use this the turn I draw it, but like if you keep it in your hand or you set it, you get a use for it. And you draw 3, and those 3 cards could be the remaining factor. And also, you can set or summon or whatever you have to do when you draw those 3 cards. So, personally, I like both of them. I feel like Pot of Cupidity, I would have to have a specific reason to play this card over decks, and I'd have to set up some type of plan and try it out more, because I haven't tried it yet. So this is me just talking off of what the card description is. But Card of Demise I have tried, and that's the thing. I said sometimes when I play Card of Demise, that stipulation of having no cards in your hand if you want the full draw power really screws with you. The sending the cards to the graveyard never messes me up much, but yeah, comes down to it. I feel like it's player preference, player choice, and what is best suited for the deck and the player. But that's just my thought, guys. Let me know down below. What do you think is better? Do you think Pot of Cupidity is better? Do you think Card of Demise is better for these new draw cards we will be getting in the future? It'll be an interesting game regardless when we get this type of draw power. I think we're getting Card of Demise before Pot of Cupidity, but I honestly don't fucking know. But yeah, let me know down below, guys. I'll see you later. Yeah. Slippin', nope. Trippin', yep.